Hi, it's Sharon, SharonTheReader.com.
If you're interested and you like what you hear, press the like button and subscribe. Also check out my website. This is a very strange video, and it's not about channeling. It's about something that happened in my life, and someone on a forum asked me a question and they asked me to be more specific about it. It was really too long to just, type in. And also, it was something that I'd been meaning to do for a long time. It's about a cat that I had that was exceptionally psychic. I can hear a lot of people going, oh, no, oh, no. This is taking things too far. But in actual fact, it wasn't. This is a very true account of a black and white tuxedo cat. I've had cats all my life. I was raised with a cat. We always had cats around the house. But I did have one particular cat, and I had him for 14 years. And he was a really big, beautiful cat. But he died. And I said I really couldn't put myself through that type of pain again. So I had no intentions of having another cat. And a year to the day of his death, a black and white cat was sitting under my hedge in the back garden. He seemed to be big and bulked out, and I would have said I felt aggressive. But I did have some of the old tins of cat food from the other cat, and he wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't leaving the garden. He sat under the hedge, and I thought, maybe I should feed him. So that evening, I fed him dinner at 6 o'clock, and he wouldn't come out. He stayed under the hedge, and the bowl sat in the middle of the garden. And then suddenly, about maybe 10 minutes later, when there was no one around, I'd left it there was no one around, suddenly the dish was empty. The cat was back under the hedge again. And this continued. And it continued for, I would say, possibly 3 weeks. I remember my son saying, oh, Mom, can't we have him? And I said, no, because possibly this cat belongs to someone. And we can't just take someone's cat. But in 3 weeks, he never left the garden. Nighttime, first thing in the morning, he never left the garden. So what actually happened was and I think you'll always get people who don't like animals, but my next door neighbour really, really did not like this cat. In the meantime, it was a Saturday and I can remember very well, out of the blue, he took a walk into the house. It was kind of strange because this was a cat that I thought was very big, aggressive, and in actual fact, the cat itself was what I would have considered a kitten. Very small, very tiny little bones and things like that. Beautiful kitten. So my next door neighbour said to me, I've told the girls around the area to be very careful of that cat because the cat could kill their child, the baby, if it's in the pram. Cats have a tendency to go into prams because they're warm and they can smother a child. Now that was the moment when I decided that cat was mine. Because no one seemed to know him, no one seemed to want him, no one looked for him. He didn't go home. He was there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, being fed breakfast, dinner and tea. And so this was not something I would have been used to with my own cats, who always came home. They may have played around the garden, but, home was home. This cat wasn't going home. So what actually happened was this cat had made its home, and its home was with me. So when my neighbour said that was a definitive moment for me that this was my cat. And she said it when we were in the front garden. I was planting some plants and the cat was sitting just inches away from me. And, she was a person who was very much into gardening, and she was, if you plant this here and you plant that there, you'll get a better result. And I was never much of a gardener, but I did my best. So anyway, she said, and I can see he's looking. She says, that cat just is not stupid. He knows full well that I don't like him. And I said to her, if anything happens to that cat, I will really be angry, because he's not harming anyone. Later on that day, I went into town, and I'd made up my mind that this cat was staying with me. I bought a litter box, I bought a collar, and I bought him his bowl. And as far as I was concerned, that was the day that he became mine. So the strange thing was, whenever I came home from town, it was about 4 o'clock, 4:30, round about that time, and he was sitting in the garden where he always sat. And I said to him, oh, you want your dinner? And the cat shook his head, as in no. And I looked at my son and I said, did he just... And he said, Mum, he says, the cat said no. We're kind of thinking, this is really strange. But anyway, 6 o'clock came and, it was, do you want your dinner? Straight into the house, had his dinner. But I put the collar on, at his little collar that I bought him, and it was a red one, and it was like a little neckerchief. And you could see the pride in the cat. And he went straight out. And you wonder why my neighbour didn't like him. But having said that, until that moment, this was a little stray who was doing no one any harm. And I think he knew that, 1, he wasn't loved. 2, he wasn't wanted by anyone. And here suddenly was a person who was willing to accept him, to love him, for him to be precious. And the very first thing he did once he got his collar on and he knew he was home was, we had a back fence, and it would have been probably round about maybe 8 foot high between my next door neighbour's garden and mine, the woman who really didn't like animals. And he scaled that fence, and she was in the garden on the other side. She was planting, it was that time of year. And he just looked over. And I remember watching from the kitchen window thinking, what is he doing? And he just looked over. And there was something in that moment, because she walked into the house and she gave that door one mighty slam. And he immediately came down, and that was him. You're going to say, no, this is just something that happened. Cats can read a vibe or something like that. But this is all I'm actually going to tell you about this cat at this moment in time. There's a lot more is going to follow. And I'm just going to do it in short intervals. This happened in my life 15 years ago. There was something so special that no one will ever, ever, ever understand. And I have cats now as well. And I love them to death. But this cat was something really special. And the only thing I will say is love. I think the fact that he realised that he was truly loved, and he was really loved, was the one thing that put that beautiful spark into, you could say, if it was a human, put it into a human being, that knowledge of being loved, cared for, being special, right? Or, as it happened in this case, it was an animal that suddenly realised that it was precious to someone. It was special. He was loved. This cat was loved beyond belief. And it's strange when we think about it, but if you love something, my God, the change in that person, animal, whatever that thing is, child, baby, whatever, school child, you pick it. The fact that you're actually giving that attention, that love, to me, there is not a diamond ring in this world would be of the same value as love. So, this is not a get me down video. I'll continue and tell you more about this particular cat, and there is a lot to tell. And how he could psychically let you know exactly what was going on. You would know it through dreams, you would know it through feelings, you would know it. And it cannot have been something that was accidental. So, it may not be a channeling today. I'm not doing any tarot card readings today, but this I would like to share with you. And hopefully you'll tune in for the next part. I want you to take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and enjoy your life. Take care and God bless. Bye.